All right, coming in at number 63 on our NHL draft rankings for 2024, we're going to Lukas Fischer, the son of longtime NHLer Yuri Fischer, 2002 Stanley Cup champion with the Detroit Red Wings. You might recognize the name from a scary situation. Yuri Fischer actually collapsed on the bench during a Red Wings Predators game in 2005. That was scary. Good thing is full recovery. Yuri Fischer now working in the Detroit Red Wings front office. So his son Lukas grew up playing for Compuware, grew up playing in Michigan. He's half Czech, half U.S. We're going to call him an American by all intents and purposes, a Michigan guy. And he's playing with the Sarnia Sting, who after a decent playoff run last year, Pilsy, they took a huge step back as a team, but that didn't stop Fischer from taking a step forward in his own game.
Yeah, I mean, certainly Fischer was able to take a step forward as far as points go in his rookie season with the Sarnia Sting. In 47 games, he had 3 goals, 7 assists, plus 17. And then, like you mentioned, good playoff run. He played 16 playoff games there. This season, 68 games, sophomore season, 6 goals, 28 assists for 34 points. So he gets a 24-point bump. However, where I'm a little concerned, and this is probably more telling of the team as a whole rather than just on Lukas Fischer himself, but he goes from a plus 17 rating of last year to a minus 27. So that is a huge fall as far as plus minus goes. So that's something to, I don't know if it's a huge thing, but it's certainly something to be aware of.
What are scouts saying are the biggest strengths of Lukas Fischer's game?
So we mentioned with Spencer Gill, or at least I did, I should say, I mentioned I couldn't really find one defining attribute. That's not the case for Lukas Fischer. He has one clear defining attribute, and that's his skating. Brock Gotten, we already mentioned him. He'll be on the show coming forward here as we get closer to the draft, of course. He remarks how Lukas is an amazing skater with very good, long, powerful strides. So having a guy that can skate like that with his size is going to be huge for scouts. Like when you're a scout and you're looking at defensemen, I honestly think, Ross, probably one of the most things they evaluate and what will define where you get drafted is your skating ability, because that's going to project how you can develop and how you can progress as you get to higher competition levels.
I think that's fair. For me, it's just there's a little bit more risk with his defensive game than there would be for a Will Skahan or even Spencer Gill. I'd probably take ahead of Lukas Fischer. I know our average rankings here have Fischer at 54.7, but there's a reason why only 3 of our 7 scouts that we used Lukas Fischer in theirs, whereas, we had 5 for Will Skahan and 4 for Spencer Gill, or 5 actually rather for both of those guys. So he comes in, Fischer does, at 63 on Bob McKenzie's list, 48 with McKean's, and 53 with elite prospects. We know EP skews a little towards great skaters. They think it's more projectable. But for me, the biggest part, if you're going to do a for Lukas Fischer argument, is the fact that he's grown up around the pro game, all the things we say when it is the bloodline connection, but it can't go unstated because it does, I believe, make a significant difference in terms of the mindset to get to the pro game. Not only that, the cutoff, as we know, is September 15th, where the calendar flips for draft year. He's a September 9th birthday. So we talk about the ultimate runway for the most of any player, I believe, in this draft class. September 9th birthday, doesn't turn 18 until he will already be at his 3rd OHL training camp. So you put all that together and the experiences that he's gaining here, it's a project is, I guess, the best way I can put it. But you could get a mobile 6'3" defenseman with some offensive upside. So if you're taking Lukas Fischer, I'd say anytime from the start of the 3rd round on, you're very intrigued at how his development path is going to go, because there's a chance if this hits, it could be a high reward as well.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, like his skating is what he leans on, but he's also very defensively sound. He's got a great shot from the point. A lot of scouts are saying that he has learned how to use his big body to his advantage. So maybe one of those kids that had a awkward growth spurt and kind of has to figure out how to adjust to this new body, and it seems like he's finding the ways to do it. I think he's got a good mix of skills here, Ross. I'm higher on Lukas Fischer than I am on Spencer Gill personally. I gave Lukas Fischer 3.5 stars. As I mentioned, usually when I go the 3.5 route, it means I like the player and I like his abilities, but I don't like the range where he would get picked for the Sens to use a pick on him. I'm with you. I think this guy's a third rounder for sure, and that's not going to fly with the Ottawa Senators.
Lukas Fischer comes in number 63 on our NHL draft rankings with an average of 54.7. For more draft profiles, go check us out on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.